Everyone was supposed to start 10 minutes ago, and I technically did, but I forgot to press the go live button. So I'm sorry about that for being late. My name is Jim Gast, and my company is Splicing Consulting. We're here based in Cincinnati, Ohio, but we work across the country. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start teaching you some little tiny snippets about Microsoft Copilot for Microsoft 365, and I'm not going to take a whole lot of your time. You know, and what I'm planning on doing is a weekly Tuesday 10:35 session where it's just about 2 to 5 minutes, a tip on Copilot for Microsoft 365. I may move into other topics later on, but for right now, we're going to stick on the Copilot track. So let me get started and tell you a little bit about Copilot. A couple of things about my Copilot for Microsoft 365. The name says it all. It's Copilot for Microsoft 365 only works in Microsoft 365. My apologies for the cough. What you need to know is that in your Copilot, it's going to draw on your information from your SharePoint, your OneDrive, your Teams, and your email, right? And so maybe other sources as well. But if your data is not in those places, Copilot is going to be limited on what it can do for you and what information it can pull from. And when it's limited on that information, it will go to the web and pull additional resources. What I want you to know about that is it's not sending your data to the internet. Your data is kept in your Microsoft 365 tenant. It's a nice little bubble, nice safe little bubble. And what it's doing is it's going out, asking a question and pulling it down, right? Pulling down the resources and then turning it up inside of the AI engine that's within that bubble. It's the best description I can give you for it. So one of the things you can do with it, and that's what today is about, is creating a document from a website. Now, I know a lot of people think to themselves that's plagiarism, but it's not, right? So ideas are out there all over the place, and we get ideas from everywhere, right? And so maybe we want to come up with a policy document from someone's best practices on a website, right? That's fine, but we don't want to plagiarize it. We want to make it our own. So what we do is we tell Copilot to do this, take that and edit it and review it for accuracy and to make sure that it's what we want. And it's also, we're making sure that we're not plagiarizing where it comes from. So I'm going to use a specific example today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my screen real quick. 1 second. And I'll add my screen and just a blank screen for right now. And what I'll do is open up the Edge browser. Now, what I want you to know about that Edge browser, what I want you to know about the Edge browser is that Copilot is embedded within your Edge browser in your Windows computer. It happens when you add Copilot for Microsoft 365 license to a user. And what you do is right here. You don't have to go searching for it. It's right here in the Edge browser. Anytime you open up a new tab, it's always going to be right there. All right. One of the other things to keep in mind is Copilot is embedded within Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, and I believe there's an Outlook interface for it too. I just don't ever use it that much, but you could. And so Copilot's all over the place when you add it to a user in Microsoft 365. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Copilot link, this Copilot icon, and what I'm going to do here is show you the elements of it. So at the top, you've got work and web. What does this mean? Well, if I use web, Copilot's going to pull the majority of the resources, or maybe all the resources that it needs for what you're asking for it, from the internet, right? Maybe we're looking for a search, maybe we're looking for an article, maybe we're looking to create an article from a bunch of different places, so on and so forth, or a document. If we use the work option here, the work option, what it does is it predominantly pulls from the information that it finds in your Microsoft 365, in your email, in your SharePoint, in your OneDrive, in your Teams meetings, and so on and so forth. Now, again, it's not going out to the internet, sending that onto the internet. The AI bubble, the AI is within your Microsoft 365 bubble. Sorry for the simple little analogy. Best way I can describe it very quickly. So you don't have to worry about it going out. The other thing is it's not going to draw on any information that you don't have access to. So if you are, if you're at a law firm and you're just not just, my apologies, but if you're a paralegal, right, just doing work, well, it's only going to pull from the information that you have access to. So if you don't have payroll information, if you don't have, access to a particular case, Copilot will not draw upon that information for you. But if you're the managing partner, maybe you have access to everything and you say, do me a search for this type of case. Well, it's going to go to all the cases that that partner has access to, which is probably pretty unlimited in most cases. So keep in mind, work and web is very important. For our purposes, create a simple little prompt and say, create a homeowners association policy document from this website. And here's the website I'm using for reference. Doesn't mean it's only going to pull it because I'm using web, but it's going to go to that document, look at it, and see if it can put something together for us as a starting place. Now, I'm going to go ahead, okay? And we will wait for just a minute. So Copilot is kind of demonstrate hurry up and wait kind of situation. So my apologies. I would play pretty theme song music in the background, but I'm not so sure that that would be beneficial. So as you can see, it's going through. I'll also pull up that website for you so you can kind of get a look. By the way, I think they made a great website, yield their content. So of course, when we're done, what we're going to do is we're going to edit and make it so it's not theirs. It's not plagiarism. By the way, if you look at this, it's not a document. It's just a checklist of best practices, if you will. It's a great website. I think they did a great job, and that's why I use it as an example. And so I'm going to come back, and Copilot is still creating a document. See, it says stop responding. Look at all that, right? Now it's finishing up because it's starting to put resources in there. Okay, it says, I want you to notice it says, please note this is a general template and should be customized to fit the needs and legal requirements of your HOA. So it understands what an HOA is. By the way, I said homeowners association, okay? I did not say HOA. So think about that. This AI interpreted that into HOA. If I'd have said HOA, maybe it would have understood it, or maybe it would have thought something different, okay? But it says it's also important to consult legal professionals. So now it's kind of giving us advice. Don't use this if you make it a point to edit this and review this with the appropriate people. Okay. Then it's going a little bit further and say, hey, if you're going to put in a new policy, make sure you communicate it to all the residents. Thanks. I appreciate that. That's a great tip. But here's my document. So what I would do is copy and paste the document into my Microsoft Word and go from there. That's the easy way to create a document from a website using Copilot for Microsoft 365. Yes, there are other ways, and so I'll show them in future sessions, but today was just a quick hit on how you use it. So I thank you for joining me. What I'm going to say here is if you're not following me on LinkedIn or Facebook, please do. It's Jim Gast, James Gast. On LinkedIn, you'll find me at linkedin.com/James Gast. You can also click on the link from this video. If you're not following our company, Splicing Consulting, please do so as well. You can find that link in my bios on most of the social media platforms. But tune in again next Tuesday, about 10:30, 10:35-ish. Hopefully I'll be on time. Hopefully I'll get the stream right this time. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Hope this was helpful. By the way, if it was helpful, like, share, and comment, please.